Good morning. This is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. Yeah, thanks for all the subscribers, yeah. I'm getting there, you know what I mean? It's really, thanks very much, yeah. But I'll tell you what, last night, my mate phoned me up and he got a phone call from a woman and she was crying and, and what's up, mate? And he said, well, her son's in prison and he's been given an IPP and he's been in nearly 16 years, Ray. Do you know what I mean? 16 years. I said, what was it for? She said, well, he was having a fight with her husband, like his dad, and he broke the old man's jaw, and the old man got on the phone to the police and called the police, and he got nicked, yeah. And he's had a few fights. The kid's he's a bit of an handful. He's had a few fights. He's hurt a few people, and so the judge gave him an IPP at Winchester Crown Court. But he comes from London, yeah. So the judge gave him an IPP at Winchester Crown Court, and he wound up in Parkhurst, and it was given an IPP. He's been moved about now, and he's now in the same prison that I was in the Mount, yeah. And the old woman's really crying. She said, "Look, he's done a long time. 16 years is a long time, you know what I mean, of an IPP. I think he was given something like a 5 years IPP." 5 years, 6 months IPP, something like that, yeah. And anyway, so I explained to him, yeah. I said, look, get her to phone me, and she phoned me this morning at 6:30, and we had a little talk. And I'm saying, look, has he done his courses? Has he done the things he's got to do? He won't do it, mate. He's got so into his sentence now that he won't do his courses. I said, listen. He's got to do the courses, otherwise he's going to wind up. He's going to wind up with doing a course, a self-changing program, a connective self, a CSCP course. I said, if he gets that right, he ain't never going to get out. I mean, he's doing 16 years now, and he'd be in for the rest of his life. I mean, he's got to get, I mean, this IPP is a bit over the top now. It's a bit over the top. I mean, there's people in there that. Obviously, they ain't done their courses, but come on, it's 16 years. 16 years. People don't get 16 years for killing kids and for raping people and them sort of things. They don't get 16 years. Come on, it's got to change. This poor kid, yeah. I mean, when I say poor kid, his mum said that he's just like institutionalised now. He don't really go, he won't come on visits. He don't want visits. He's okay in there. He's getting his puff. He's on a boat, a food boat, and all that. He's okay. He's selling drugs. He's running around the prison doing his own thing. He's quite happy. It's like he's really institutionalised. He's got. I mean, prisons just get hold of him, and the Mount can do that. I was in the Mount, and the Mount's not a very hard prison. You get what you want, you get what you want, but that's what it is. But come on, you got to try. We've got to try and help these kids get out. How do we try? How do we get them out? Me and Fish, yeah. Me and Fish, we was doing it. We was into this IPP thing, We was like talking to probation officers and trying to find out why this and why that, And a lot of them say that it's because it's too easy. It's too easy now in prison for them, They go away, they got everything they possibly want. They got like DVDs and these games and carpets, curtains. They got everything they want. There's nothing else they want. They get plenty of food. They get as much drugs as they want. The only thing they ain't really got is a woman, And a lot of them don't really care about that, They're just into their drugs, shouting for the winners at their pals, and that's their life. And it's got, come on, that's not some sort of life. And eventually when they get out, they want to go back in prison. A mate of mine done a podcast on a guy. He'd done quite a bit of it. He's done, he got 12. He'd done something like 8 years out of it, something like that. I think he's done the 8 years, and he just can't cope. He can't cope. He wants to go back away. Come on, that's a shame, mate. That's a shame that someone has done his bird and then comes out and then can't cope. He wants to go back in prison. That's a shame, man. I mean, who wants to go? I mean, it's a bit. I mean, I'm a bit. I can't be a bit of a hypocrite and say, you know, oh, they're crazy to go back in prison because of that. But it is. I mean, even I come back in prison, and when it was really hard, yeah. But it's so easy now that it doesn't mean nothing to them. They go back, they meet their pals, they go straight. They can buy drugs in there. They run around doing their own thing. There's no problems with them. They're getting a good food, and that is about prison now. I mean. You know, prison is about. I mean, I know. I know. That, listen, I wouldn't want prison to go back to what it was in my days. I think it's a bit out of all of the way you got it now. But kids, I mean, why should you go in prison and be really punished again? That's what it's all about. That's what people are doing. Okay, the sentence is a punishment, not to be punished whilst you're in prison. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do now. So you don't get punished while you're in prison. But when in my time, you go in prison, 3 up, 4 up. You know, you got to do your toilets in a pot. You got to fold it up, chuck it out the window, make your poo parcels, and chuck them out the window, and all that. You know what I mean? You hardly eat any food, but you can eat as much bread as you like. You know, your tea's put on a pipe in the cell to keep warm. You know what I mean? And that's how it was in them days, you know. And you come out for exercise, and that's it. You come out for half an hour exercise or an hour exercise, and that's it. You ain't moving, mate. And if you get a job, you get a good job, yeah? You've got to get a good job. And a good job in prison is either in the kitchen or cleaners or something like that, yeah? So you go to big prisons like Wandsworth or the Scrubs, Winchester, all them sort of places, for remand prisons, yeah? Or prisons that you want to get allocated. Them prisons in them days was really, really hard. I mean, I'm on about really hard, yeah? No, not such a thing as a phone, not such a thing as a visit as such, yeah? I mean, in them days, you got 2 visits a month, if you're lucky, a PVO and a VO. You know, you get a VO is your VO, but a PVO is a privileged VO, so it's twice a month you get it, and you can lose that because it's privileged, so you can lose that privileged VO easy. And in my days, you could lose bird. You could say you got a 10 stretch or 5 stretch. You can lose. I'm on about remands. Before you even get your sentence, they're taking bird. They're taking time off your sentence before you've even got it. I'm on about if you don't do what you're supposed to do, your cell's not clean, your cell's not tidy. 7 days, 5 days, 6 days remission. They take it off you. They take that off you. Not so much in a big man's prison. I'm on about as a bolster boy or YP. They'll take it. Discipline, yeah. But the bolster boys and the YPs was better off than the actual convicts because there was only single cells, yeah. Single cells, and they had it a lot easier. Not when I say easier, there wasn't like 4 up in a cell. They got good, better food because they're young. They got more exercise because they're young. The visits. I mean, I remember being my Bristol boy, and the visits in the Scrubs was in a wooden hut, yeah, a big wooden hut that maybe hold 30 visits, and this is a joke, mate. And in that hut, right, was a cage. You went into the visit into your little cubicle, and there was a cage there. Your visit one side, you're the other side. A cage. You can't touch them, and you just got to talk to them. How about that then? And that's changed now. I mean, now you can go on a visit, sit down. But in my time, in the Bolster Boys and the YPs, that is how it was. You didn't go on a visit as such like that. You come to a cubicle, and it was a cage there, yeah? How about that? It's crazy, isn't it? But that's how it was years ago. I mean, now they go on a visit, it's all kiddles, cuddles, and it's all holding each other and you know, passing this and passing that. It's how it is. That's exactly how it is, yeah? But come on, it's like I tried to explain to his mum, yeah? everything about prison, what it was like in my days, what it's like now. And I said, look, she said, look, he's just got everything he wants, Ray. He phones me up now and again. He doesn't have a visit. He phones me up to get in touch with people. People do certain things. He's getting his drugs in, and that's all he worries about. As long as he gets his drugs in, he's happy. He's making money, but he's not making money in pound notes. He's making money in food and cigarettes and tobacco. He's just living the life, man. He's more likely living a better life now than what he was on the road. As I say, the only thing they haven't got is women. And a lot of them in there have got women because they're getting hold of the prison officers. You're getting hold of the women screws. And don't know about this, mate. People think the screws in prison, right? Yeah, she's like hook nose, cauliflower ear holes, a big fat thing, a lesbian. Listen, mate. I've seen some in there, mate, are stunning. Could be models all day long. And they're prison officers. You know what I mean? So you can imagine some of them guys in there are absolutely minted. They've got good looking guys, minted, got everything they want. You think they ain't getting over the prison officers? Of course they are. But you got this young kid, he isn't getting over. Oh, I don't know. He might be. But he doesn't want to get out, mate. I mean, he doesn't want to say he doesn't want to get out. Of course he wants to get out, but he keeps getting a knockback every time he goes to his parole hearing. They're saying to him, have you done this course? Have you done that course? They know it's all in front of them. No, I haven't. Why? Because I don't want to do the courses. Why? Why am I doing? I've got to do the courses and get a knockback. I can't do them. I don't understand them. It's going to take me, how long? I've known people, me and Fish was very lucky to get out when we got out, yeah? Because I got the IPP more before Fish, yeah? But Fish got it just after me. So because I got it early, I was very lucky not to get transferred here and there everywhere to do the courses. So I done all my courses in the scrubs and the mount, I was quite lucky, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these IPPs now, what's happened to them? They get courses, but they've got to wait 2 years, 3 years to get on that course. Can you imagine what punishment that does to your head? To wait 3 years for a course that's going to take 6 months, and you might not even, that 6 months, you might not have learnt nothing really as such, and you get knocked back. But you've already waited 3 years for that course. And then you get knocked back, and you've got to wait another 2 or 3 years for another course. And if they do that CSCP, there's serious trouble, because that is the worst course you can possibly do. Listen, calm is bad enough. Controlling anger and learning to manage it, that's bad enough. But CSCP, Cognitive Self-Changing Program, that is completely mad. That was given to lifers. I mean, IPPs are lifers. I think I'm not quite sure if the CSCP. People that are watching my podcast now, come back with comments, about the CSCP, Cognitive Self-Changing Program. People on my comments would know more about that. I mean, there's a couple of guys on there that come to me, that talk to me on the comments, that are the business, that are really good. They know all about prisons, they know everything about it. They're so clued up, and I love to get their comments, because it gives me time to come back to you with feedbacks on it, But as I say, I don't really know too much about this cognitive self-changing program, but I did, because when I got knocked back, the first time or second time, I'm not quite sure. My probation officer was a woman called Christina Rowe. I mean, she was a beautiful woman. I mean, she's a big woman, but really, she tried her hardest to get me out. She wanted to get me out. She thought I'd learnt my lesson. I'd done CALM. I've done all the other courses, ETSs and all them other courses. I've done loads of courses, and I've been on it for 4.5 years. Psychology, where you're getting knocked back, then you come in and doing other things, So she wanted to get me out. I got knocked back, and then they said it looks like I might have to do the CSCP. She was on it like a Rachel Baker, mate. She was on it, and she said, "Look, he isn't that sort of person to do a CSCP. He's done as much as he can. He at that time, I was dyslexic, you know, and it was very hard for me to read and the bits and pieces, but I made myself read, yeah. I made myself do that to get out. I wanted to get out, mate. I mean, you know, like when I went to court and on remand, and the judge was talking this, that, and the other, and say, look, this is it's very serious crime. You're going to get definitely get a big sentence, you know. So custodial sentence, a custodial sentence, yeah. But I knew that anyway. And then a woman shouts out and says, "Oh, but Mr. Hill is a candidate for an IPP. He's a definite candidate for an IPP." So the judge said, "Okay, look into it, and we come back next time." And next time he's going to me, "Mr. Hill, this charge represents an IPP." And what is an IPP? And it takes a long time to learn about the IPP. You know, people say this, people say that. Oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you get out. But it ain't that easy, mate. It ain't that easy. I mean, Fish didn't really care. He didn't care about this and that. And the other days, he done his own thing, Fish. I love Fish for that. He just done his own thing. But in the end, he had to do the courses to get out. You got to do it. There's no way you're going to get out without doing the courses. You ain't going to do it. You ain't not one way you're going to do it. You've got to do the courses. You know, all that going to Strasbourg, you know, all that thing about, you know, human rights, and they ain't bothered about that. They don't care. I mean, that David Blunkett, I mean, he was the Home Secretary at that time. He was the one that give it to us all. But he didn't give it. All the government give us it. They all give us it. They all got together and go, right, what are we going to do? We're going to keep guys in, violent people, or people that just commit the same crime all the time. We're going to put them in prison. We don't want them on the street. You know, we don't want you on the street. You know, and that's what it was. They didn't want us on the street, mate. And there was people that had murdered people, got a life sentence recommended, 14, 15 years, that are getting out before we was getting out. Come on, is that right? And people that are hurting little kids, that are raping children, and sexually abusing them, are getting out before the IPP. Is that real? Is that right? And people that are raping women and all that and doing certain things, should they be getting out before the IPP? An IPP, you know, is a determinate sentence. Determinate means forever. It's a determinate sentence, mate. A 99 years indeterminate sentence. Indeterminate sentence. Indeterminate public protection order, yeah? Come on, what a crazy, crazy sentence. People when I was getting it, when I got it, I'd already done 2.5 years remand. And when the judge told me, you're going to get 2.5 years IPP, Mr. Hill, you know, take him away, I thought, well, I've already done 2.5 years on remand, I'm going home. And when they told me what it was, and you're starting from that day, I went, what? I couldn't believe it. Fish made me laugh, man. Fish. When he got the IPP, he stuck to the wall and slid down the wall. He couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? But he handled it, mate. He handled the IPP very easy, Fish. Every day I'd see him run around the yard. Everybody likes him. He was a nice guy. No one took any liberties with him because they know that he can have a right row, and he can have a right row, Fish. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of doubt. And you know, I mean, you got this Ben Hatchett now. He's had 2 fights, and now he's fighting for some championship. Well, Fish would have killed him without a shadow of doubt. I mean, no way in a million years would he have hurt Fish. Fish can bang. I've told you before. Fish come around my house and started knocking bricks out of my wall with his bare fist. You know, and he is a nice guy, mate. He is a nice guy, Fish. He's a homosexual. So what? So what? No one knew that he was homosexual. Well, they did actually. They did, yeah. Everyone knew he was homosexual. I mean, you can't be on a motorbike with a thong. Listen, he was driving down I think it was Amherst Grove or shit. Anyway, in the bush on a big motorbike, right? With just a thong, and no crash on it. Just a thong, naked, just a thong going down the Shepherd's Bush Road. And I'm like, I mean, come on, you can imagine it. Like, everybody's thinking it's a woman. But it's fish, isn't it? He's got obviously he's not naked. He's got a top on, but he's just got a top and a thong on. Could you imagine it? Yeah, fish. That's fish, mate. He don't care. He's enjoying his life. He's not doing podcasts. He's got his own reasons for that. There's a reason for it, and I don't know the reason. You got people saying is this, people saying is that. But let me tell you something. One thing fish ain't, is a grass. Fish got an IPP. He ain't no grass, mate. He ain't no grass. What? He ain't no grass. And people say he is. They got to retract that. Listen. Go and see Fish personally. Go and have a talk to him, face to face. Let me tell you something. You'll be coming back with no face. You won't go to Fish saying he's a grass. Believe me, you wouldn't do that. If you listen to my podcast and you're the person saying it, well, go and see him. Go and see him, and believe me, he'll smash you to pieces. Even, I don't like to say it, he's doing an IPP. He doesn't really want to get himself involved in any problems. He's not making himself busy now. I should imagine he's got a job. He's got a job. He's just doing little bits and pieces, get his bit of money. He ain't doing no villainy. He's just happy doing what he's doing. He's more like sick of the IP. He was sick of this podcast. He was doing really well. He had 4,500 views. He only done 75 videos. He got 4,500 views. I've done 300 videos, and I've got nearly 4,000 views. So everybody liked Fish. Everybody liked the way he talks and what he's done. Yeah, and I love Fish, mate. I love him to death. And we tried our hardest about this IPP. I bet when you've got mums crying on the phone about their sons, come on. People are going to say, well, they've done this and done that. But, okay, if you're going to get a sentence, yeah? But not get a sentence what's indefinite, where you don't know. Imagine you're 24/7 locked away. Doesn't matter if you're walking around the wings, if you're walking around the yard, you're still locked away. There's still a big wall with big gates and prison officers to stop you getting out with keys, yeah? Okay? And you're still locked away. So you're still locked away 24/7 of your life, yeah? You're not living a life, you're bained up. And you're bained up for 16 years, and all you done was have a fight with your dad. I think it's your stepfather, actually. All you done was have a fight with your stepfather, broke his jaw, and they give you an IPP. But come on, there's guys in there. I remember a guy in there, mate. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, yeah. I remember a guy in there that was a perpetual, right? Not petrol, perpetual. So, you know what I mean? Anyway, nicking mobile phones. He just grab it, or get on a bike, boom, and then nick a mobile phone and jump off and nick it. Okay, the pain in the butt. He took a mobile phone from an old woman. No, he took a mobile phone from someone. He's running down the road, looking behind, and he bumped into the woman. She fell over, broke her shoulder. They give him an IPP. He didn't mean to run into that woman and knock her over. He didn't mean to do that. He didn't mean to break her shoulder. He didn't mean to knock her over. All he done was nick a mobile phone. He was in prison when I come out. I'd already done 10 years. He got his IPP maybe a little bit after me, but not a lot long after me. He's still away. I've been out 19 years all told. I've been on this IPP, coming up nearly 20 years, and he's still away for nicking a mobile phone and accidentally knocking over this old woman, and she fractured her shoulders and done her face. Okay, that merits what? 7 years? A 7-year sentence? a 7-year sentence, and he's done 19, 20 years, and he's still away. What chance has he got of surviving on the street now? What chance he got? Come on, what chance he got? There's people in there, as I said before, right, in there doing really bad things and getting out after 13 years, 10 years, and 9 years for things that they should be locked away forever, and the kids should be chucked away, and yet they're getting out. And yet this poor kid that just nicks a mobile phone, knocked a woman out. Okay, she was an old woman. He broke her shoulder, fractured her jaw, or whatever, and gets an IPP where he's still away 19, 20 years later. Okay, you know, he deserves to get 7 years and do 4.5, 5 years out of it, yeah? But not 19 years, mate. Come on. And that kid now, he's more likely the same as the woman. She's found out her son's done 16 years, that he ain't bothered about getting out. He's institutionalised. He couldn't cope with getting out. He couldn't cope. Because don't remember, when you get out after that sort of sentence, yeah, you are put in a hostel. You would go to a hostel. I went to a hostel in Ealing Broadway. Really nice, plush, big, massive house in Ealing Broadway. The house may be £4 or £5 million in Ealing Broadway, right? And there's people living near the hostel. They've got massive houses, and they don't realise that people living next door to them. It's a place, a hostel for prisoners just coming out. And you've got to go there. And you've got to do maybe 6 months to a year in the hostel. And that is punishment by itself. Because believe me, mate, when I done that hostel, and I couldn't believe the amount of people that was getting nicked in there and going back to prison. Every day you would hear police, old Bill, run up the stairs at night, grabbing people out of the rooms, yeah? It frightened the life out of you, mate. Even if you ain't done nothing, it still frightens the life out of you because you still got memories, yeah? You know what I mean? It's a driving mad. Every day I come out of that gaff, I couldn't wait to get out of there, right? You still got to sign in, sign out. It's like, you know, you've got to sign the book, you've got to sign that, you've got to sign, you can't swear, you can't do this, you can't do that. So you're still in prison. But every day, all I used to do, get out in the morning, go straight down the gym, have a workout, go see my mum, because my mum only lived 3 miles away in Acton. Go and see my mum, stay all day with my mum, and then get back to there by 7 o'clock, sign in, and then bang up. And you still got your own key to your door, but they come to your door and got their own key and come in. They might knock on the door and come in. They've caught me doing things to myself. Honestly, I'm on the phone to a girl, there's me doing things to myself, and they've come in and caught me. And in the morning, when you go down the stairs, you got to go in the office and explain why you was doing that when there was a woman coming around, opening the doors, looking at, checking it. And do you really know that? Just walk straight in. You know what I mean? Knock on the door and come straight in. And I said, look, I apologise. And they said, well, it happens again, that you could be reprimanded and all this crap. You know what I mean? Come on, you're men. You know, and you go down the stairs, there's one washing machine, everybody's putting washing in, the food's, you know, anyway, but I was lucky because I was always around my mum's, and my mum was washing to my mum's, and my mum done all that, God rest her soul. Rest in peace, Doris, my old mum. I loved her, mate, and, you know, like, that's another thing that you got to remember, yeah, that because you do big sentences, 26.5 years I've done in prison, yeah, you've done big sentences, yeah, your old mum has missed you for 26.5 years of your life, and you've missed your mum for 26.5 years of your life. You keep in and out. You don't see your mum, you know, much. You know, even though my old mum used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning, cook me a dinner. Cook on a Saturday or on a Sunday, I think it was. Cook me a dinner, big dinner with his pudding and a pint of beer. Every Sunday morning while I was on remand in the scrubs, yeah, she would cook me a dinner. So if you were in remand for 2 years, she'd cook a dinner every Sunday and get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and cook me a dinner. that by itself is such a beautiful, beautiful woman, my mum. And there isn't a lot of wives. There are not wives that do that today. No chance. You know what I mean? I don't know if they've stopped it now. I should think there was, because there was a lot of things going on because of the drink. Everybody was going to people's cells, nicking their drinks, and this, that, and the other. Fights over people nicking their drinks. Everyone was getting drunk, and all that. So they stopped it. Yeah, I believe they did stop it. I'm not quite sure they did. If anybody knows this, on my comments, let me know. But you know, mum. Yeah, I've done 26 and a half years with my mum. Okay, 10 there, 5 there, 7 big sentences, yeah. So you miss your old mum, and when you get out, I go out and see my mum. I was with my mum for a short time and she died. You know, and you think to yourself, do you know what, mate? All that time, my poor old mum is laying in bed at night times. Because don't worry about that. She was, and it's like this people out there now watching. Your mum is the one that suffers, mate. She's the one who's broken hearted. She's the one who give birth to you, and she's the one who's broken hearted, yeah, that you're not around when it's her birthday, or when it's someone's birthdays, or she needs to cuddle you and love you because she's thinking about you, right? We don't think like that, yeah? And when my mum died, it broke my heart, mate. It broke my heart. I'm a very hard person, yeah? I've been in prison a big time in my life, and so I've been apart from my mum. I've been away from my mum, but when my mum died, it broke my heart, yeah? What can you do, mate? You know what I mean? And I punished myself a lot. I punished myself a lot, but I miss my mum, yeah? They said, the other day someone said to me, looking at my mum's picture, it was funny, but it was a liberty, really. I said, don't do that. Don't say that, you know what I mean? He said, well, put a wig on, mate. And your mum, you look a ringer for your mum. You know, I swear, don't say that. My mum was good looking, my mum was really pretty, you know what I mean? Come look at me, you know what I mean? He said, no, you resemble, like, I said, yeah, but they say it like that, you resemble, not you look like, yeah? So anyway, so that was it. But come on, you can imagine what poor old mums go through, yeah? And anyway, so this woman is going through a lot of her son. 16 years. The other one's done 19 years, which is not a boy, but it's someone's son, or someone's dad, someone's son anyway, you know. And it sort of guts you, really, that this woman, it's her son. She's only got the boy. She hasn't got no one else. I mean, the stepfather, come on, to phone the police. And I mean, I don't know if she's still with him. I don't think she's still with him. I mean, she wants to kill him, I think, putting a boy away, and he's still away after 19 years. I mean, come on, you know, they've got to let him out. It's ridiculous because he's not done a course. Okay, but come on, let him out on the road, you know. But as Mum said, she cries all the time. She talks to him on the phone. He got a mobile phone, which in prison, I should imagine, out of a thousand cons in prison, there's maybe 4,000 phones. I ain't joking. Do you know, everybody's got a phone. And why not? Why shouldn't you be able to speak to your mum, speak to your wife? You know, come on. They got prisoners now. They got prisoners now with phones in their cell. You think I'm joking? They got prisoners now with phones in their cell, so you can talk to your wife, your mum, and all that sort of thing. You know, there's certain numbers you can't use, but you know, you've got to write down who you're phoning, who you're talking to, and that's what you give. And then your phone. You can't phone other people on that phone. It's only the numbers that you give them that you're going to phone, yeah? Yeah, but come on, how good's that? But believe me, that causes a bit of problems, because when you phone out your wife and she's not there, and or if she is there, and you can hear someone in the background talking, straight away you go, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And it causes more problems, but I suppose it's a lot better than what it was in my days, where you got one letter for one letter. So you write a letter out, you get a letter back a week later, you write another letter out. So you imagine that. That was more painful and more brain damaging than anything. You know, like now, you can phone your wife. In them days, you couldn't. You know, you can go to a phone in the prison and get on the phone with your card, put it in and phone your missus up, or your wife up, or your woman up, or whatever you're going to phone up, yeah? now, in them days, my days, you couldn't. You had to write a letter. And don't worry about that, mate. You had to write a letter. You just want the letter, and you had to write it in the smallest possible writing you can possibly write in, because to get all what you want to get into, you only got four sheets of paper. You know what I mean? Four, one that way, one that way. You know what I mean? Four pieces. You know, to write your letter. And so you want to say so much, but you can't say it. And I've known people to put bits of paper in it, you know, write, and the letters don't go out. And a week later, the letter comes back. You know, oh, you can't do that. A week later, and you've already sent it, you go, hold up. A week ago I sent this letter. Well, that's what it is, mate. Take it or leave it. Bump, bump, bump. And I've known people when I'm in my days, this is what I'm telling people now, how it is. In my days, you could write a letter, give a screw the right ump, and the screw would take the letter, because he's got to take it down to the sensors, right? He would take the letter and put the letter in a bin, or hide it, and then put it back later, 2 weeks later, and you're sitting in your cell thinking, that fucking slag of mine, she's doing this, she ain't with me a letter or nothing, she's a fucking, and you've got a visit. You know, do you know, mate, hey, you get a visit, you got a visit, and all of a sudden you're going mad at your wife about the letters. She says, I ain't got no letters, and then it causes more problems, and it's just break up, yeah? So now, what have they got now? They got 4 visits a month they can have. Sit on a visit 2.5 hours, 2 hours with their wives, eating chocolates, cakes, drinks, getting their drugs in. That's prison. That's a good prison. You know what I mean? That's how to do your bird, mate. Go on a wing, buy your chickens, buy your lamb. Listen, when I went to Albany, right, and the Isle of Wight from the Scrubs, 70s, I couldn't believe it. You had a canteen there, yeah. When I went on the wings, they had stoves. I went, stoves? What's all that about? You know, I've never seen stoves in my life, because ball stores ain't got them, YPs ain't got them, you know what I mean? And then you go to the big prison, and you get your big birds, and you go to wings, and you got stoves. And as you go to the canteen, yeah, and you can buy legs of lamb. Oh, you think I'm joking? Legs of lamb, chicken, pork, beef, anything you want. It's a joke. And you got people like Pat Adams is in there. You got proper people, the Barrys. You got Peter Kelly in there. You got proper names in there. You know what I mean? You got there's so many names in there. I can't really remember. I've got bad memories when it comes to these people. But you know, like just spending fortunes on canteens, getting people to buy a leg of lamb, and they'd be cooking big steaks and getting out of the kitchen. I was lucky I was in the kitchen, so I didn't have to have money. I was always eating. I was always plenty of food, as much food as I liked, you know, because in the kitchen I was getting steaks and whatever I wanted, you know. But obviously money still helps. There's certain things you want and certain things you can't get because you ain't got the money. Yeah? But anyway, this is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please like and subscribe. I know I've gone on a bit. Sometimes I go into one, you know what I mean? I can't help it. Prison, I mean, I've been in prison most of my life, you know, and I've got stories, and big stories, but a lot of stories in my book now. And it's going to be soon. And you're going to love it, mate. It's going to knock the pipe out of all people's books. They're going to be gutted, mate. They're going to be gutted. Anyway, have a nice day. Please like and subscribe. Press the like button and subscribe. And do that for me. And let's get to as many subscribers as I possibly can. Anyway, have a nice day, yeah? Take care, bye-bye. And listen, if the mum's watching about her son, I'm going to talk to you later about that, yeah? And also, as I say, I've talked to you about this on the phone. So people will be trying to work out what we can do about this IPP, how we can sort it out, you know. I mean, it did stop. They did stop IPPs, but it's still going on. I mean, I know I said I was going to stop it, but quickly. I had a phone call from a probation officer last week, and she told me, or not last week, 3 or 4 weeks ago, she told me that they're trying to stop it from me now, the IPP. I'm not a target from the police. I've kept myself clean now for what, nearly 10 years. I don't take drugs. I don't drink. I don't really go out nowhere. All I do is do the podcast, train, and do the book. Now and again, I do lots of walking, but my life's just changed. My life's changed. I ain't into this gangster shit no more. I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's about time I try to live my life. I miss the money. I miss the money that I used to get. I miss having thousands of pounds put aside. I miss going shopping, spending fortunes on yourself and your wife and your kids. I miss that, yeah. But I don't miss going in prison, mate. I don't want to go back there. All right. Anyway, have a nice day. Please press the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.